Attention passionate Atlanta, FALCONS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the NFC South is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable divisions in recent memory. But what if I told you that there's a blockbuster move brewing, one that could redefine the Falcons' trajectory for the next few years? Rumors are swirling, and they're big. Sources close to the league, including some of the most respected insiders like Adam Schefter and Diana Rossini, have hinted at an eye-opening trade that could shake up the entire NFC South. And it's all centered around CeeDee Lamb, the electrifying wide receiver from the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, you heard that right. Lamb could be headed to Atlanta in a trade that might seem unbelievable, but when you look at the circumstances, it starts to make a lot of sense for both sides. So, let's dig into this. The Cowboys, currently sitting at a 1-1 record, are reportedly eyeing a rebuild. Their defense has been leaking points, allowing about 27 points per game, and with their cap space around $31 million, they're looking for ways to reset. The focus is shifting toward bolstering the offensive line, especially after injuries to players like Tyron Smith, who's missed 2 games in 2025. Dallas needs draft picks to focus on rebuilding their defense, especially their pass rush, which has been underwhelming with 28 sacks allowed so far. The intriguing part, they're reportedly willing to part ways with Lamb in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a third-rounder in 2027. That's a significant haul, but it's not just about the picks. It's about a team that's trying to stay competitive while also laying the groundwork for a future that might not include their current star receiver. And let's talk about CeeDee Lamb himself, because he's not just any wide receiver. Lamb, who's just 26 years old, has established himself as one of the most dynamic playmakers in the league. Over his career, he's accumulated 496 receptions for 339 yards, and 38 touchdowns. That's an average of about 12.7 yards per catch, which is elite, especially considering his YAC yards after catch, which is over 455 yards for his career, averaging nearly 5 yards per reception just from YAC alone. That's the kind of explosiveness that defenses absolutely hate to face. In 2025, up to now, Lamb has been relatively healthy, with only a minor ankle issue in Week 1, and he's been producing solid numbers, 16 receptions on 24 targets for 222 yards, averaging nearly 14 yards per reception, even without any touchdowns so far this season. But what really stands out is his ability to turn short plays into big gains, forcing defenses into constant adjustment. His EPA per target, a crucial advanced stat, is at plus 0.22, which shows he's consistently creating value for his team. And with a PFF grade of around 69.7, he's solidly in the upper tier of NFL receivers, especially considering the challenges he's faced with the Cowboys' offense this year. Now, you might be asking, why would Dallas trade Lamb? Well, there are a few reasons. First, the Cowboys are in a bit of a cap crunch, and with Micah Parsons set to get a massive extension, projected around $40 million a year, they need to free up space. Plus, their current rebuild isn't just about cap space, it's about strategic repositioning. They want young players to build around, especially on defense, where they've struggled with sacks and overall pass rush. The trade for Lamb could provide them with a significant draft capital boost, which they desperately need to reshape their roster. While some might be skeptical, pointing out that losing Lamb could hurt their offensive production, and it would, no doubt, the Cowboys are betting on their ability to develop other weapons and focus on their defensive rebuild. Without Lamb, their aerial attack would drop by about 15%, similar to what we saw with the Seahawks when they traded Metcalf in 2025, losing over 200 yards per game. So it's a calculated risk, but one they're willing to take. Now, let's switch gears and look at what this means for the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, currently sitting at 0-2, are struggling offensively, averaging only 18 points per game, which is far from enough to compete in today's NFL. Their passing game has been underwhelming, with Drake London managing just 150 yards in 2 games, averaging around 75 yards per reception. That's decent, but they're missing a true deep threat, someone who can stretch the field and create big plays on command. Enter CeeDee Lamb. If the Falcons manage to acquire him, it's like plugging a massive hole in their offense. Lamb's ability to gain yards after the catch and stretch defenses vertically would transform their attack. Projected numbers for Lamb in Atlanta. We're talking about around 200 yards and 10 touchdowns over the course of the season, which would instantly elevate their offense into the league's upper echelon. His EPA per pass would jump from approximately 12 to plus 0.13, making the Falcons' passing game significantly more efficient. And with Arthur Smith's offensive system, which emphasizes a balanced attack and creative play calling, Lamb could flourish even more, especially with Desmond Ridder or whoever wins the quarterback battle, now having a true blue-chip receiver to throw to. And let's not forget the impact on the Falcons' overall playoff chances. Right now, with a record of 0-2, they're looking up at the rest of the NFC South, but adding a player like Lamb could change that narrative. His deep threat ability, combined with the Falcons' existing weapons like Drake London, could turn their offense into a real scoring machine. Imagine a game where Lamb, London, and Bijan Robinson, who's been fantastic this season, averaging 85 yards per game, all come together to produce a relentless aerial assault. That kind of offense would make the Falcons a nightmare for opposing defenses. And with the NFL's playoff format, where seeding is everything, a leap in offensive efficiency could easily mean the difference between a wildcard spot and sitting home in January. Now, let's talk about the odds and what this move could mean for the Super Bowl picture. The Falcons, long considered underdogs, are now priced at plus 10, 0 odds to win it all. But if they land Lamb, those odds could plummet dramatically, perhaps to around plus 3-0 according to DraftKings. That's a huge shift, and it reflects how much a single player can impact a team's championship prospects. In January and February, Lamb's experience in clutch situations, with a playoff career tally of 7 touchdowns and a PFF coverage grade over 91 in high-pressure moments, makes him an instant X factor. Cowboys fans might see this as a rebuild with a future focus, but Falcons fans, well, they see the potential for a deep playoff run and maybe even more. Imagine a scenario where the Falcons, with Lamb on the roster, face the Saints or the Panthers in a crucial game, and he's able to make game-changing plays deep down the field. The energy in Atlanta would be electric. This move could elevate the team into NFC contenders, somewhat reminiscent of the impact the 49ers experienced in 2022 after their trade boost, transforming from a decent team into a Super Bowl participant. That's what's at stake here. The potential for a dynasty, for Arthur Blank's franchise to finally reach the promised land, is palpable if these rumors turn into reality. And of course, the visual of Lamb in red and silver, donning the Falcons' jersey, is a striking image. It's like a hurricane sweeping over the Atlantic, reshaping the division and forging a new era of dominance in the South. The Falcons have struggled in recent years, but with a smart move like this, a bold, strategic acquisition, they could be on the brink of something special. The team's rebuild, which started from the depths of 0-2, could well lead them to a Lombardi trophy in the coming seasons. It's a story of resurgence, a chance to redefine not just the Falcons, but the NFC South itself, as a division of powerhouses competing at the highest level. So, what does all this mean for fans? Well, it's a roller coaster of possibilities. We're talking about a team that's looking to shake off the dust of recent seasons and make a statement. Lamb's addition would be the kind of move that sends shockwaves through the league, energizing fans and setting the stage for a new chapter in Falcons history. We're witnessing a potentially historic moment, one that could turn the tides of the NFC South and propel Atlanta into genuine Super Bowl contention. The anticipation is building, and the trade deadline is just around the corner. If this deal goes through, it's going to be one of the most exciting storylines of the NFL season. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe this trade could happen? Would Lamb be the perfect piece to finally push Atlanta over the edge? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, insights, and breaking news, so stay tuned for everything you need to know about the Atlanta Falcons and the NFL. This is a transformative moment, and we're right here with you, riding every wave of this incredible story. Let's see how it unfolds, but one thing is for sure, the Falcons are on the brink of something huge, and it's an exciting time to be a part of this fan family.